What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my breakdown of the Fallen banner. I'll be going over all of the weapons in an easy to understand way, and we have got Fallen Veyle as a colorless infantry mage. So she was pretty much inevitable, and she's going to be an upgrade of Mythic Veil because she can have the updated drive scal. So here she has got her weapon Fell Child's Might, which is going to be giving her minus on special cooldown, and then it has got the Joint Drive 30% damage reduction in the combat. So she gets this, and she also gives this to the other allies in 2 spaces, which is not the greatest deal as we have got a lot of damage reduction piercing, but still it's good support to have on a unit like this. And then she has got -6 attack and resistance debuff on the foe in the combat, and she inflicts even more debuff on their attack and resistance, depending on 20% of her resistance at start of combat. So this is going to be taking her visible resistance, and then she gets special cooldown charge on both her attacks and the enemy's attacks. So this is going to be enabling her to trigger Iceberg and Flare a lot easily, especially when she's able to get the Brave effect if she has got more resistance than foe's resistance plus 10. So having the Brave effect with the tempo scale, with the special charges, is amazing for a nuke. And not only she can nuke really well, but she can also support really effectively with her Slotsy skill. And she does come with a new tier 4 Slotty skill in Crystalline Water, which is pretty much going to be a bit better version of Still Water, as it does neutralize any kind of panic or any kind of debuffs to your attack and resistance at sort of both player phase or enemy phase. So for a lot of units that run Still Water, they are going to be a magnet for chill attack and chill resistance debuff, and you don't really want to have debuffs on a unit where you have some kind of resistance check like Veil. So Crystalline Water does help with that, and then she has got Tempo 4 just like Mythic Veil, so this is going to be really good for nuking by getting the damage reduction piercing. And the Null Guard effect is really strong with the Brave effect and the special charges of the weapon. And then she's got her Slotsy skill and Felt Successors, so this is going to be giving -5 attack and resistance debuff on the foe in the combat, and it also gives out Drive, Attack, Defense, Resistance plus 4. So another supportive effect, which is good for the allies in 2 spaces. And then she has got the Joint Drive Scowl and Joint Drive Scowl on foes double. So basically it is going to be using Veil's resistance for the Drive Scowl effect, so she can get that herself. And this is really helpful for any kind of tank because your enemy is going to be having a lot of trouble triggering their special with the Scowl effect and then the follow-up Scowl effect that is going to be there. And you can hardly do much about the follow-up Scowl. There's no rally spectrum for that, so that can help a tank even if they're going to be eating a double attack from the enemy. So Veil is going to be again doubling down as a pretty good tank support unit, and she is going to be a bit better than Mythic Veil because of having an improved drive scowl, but she's not going to be a mythic unit. So in the Aster season for the role compression, still Mythic Veil is useful, especially if you tried to get some merges on her and if she's your core mythic. And now you can get drive scowl in the light season, but you'll have to watch out for Embla because that feud status is going to be bypassing the support of Fallen Veyle. So that is Fallen Veyle, an inevitable unit that pretty much everyone expected, and she's going to be functioning without a dagger. I was really hoping that she would be the rearmed dagger, maybe a speedy dagger, but she is again a Tome Infantry unit, and Iceberg, yeah, that special code is definitely perfect. So amazing animation. And then we have got Fallen Ursula here. So Ursula is going to be again a Blue Mage Cavalier just like her original version, but this time she's going to be nuking really well, and she's going to be a useful unit on Aether Raids defense and also in Summoner Duels. So she's got her preferred weapon Dead Crow Tome, and here she's going to be triggering her AoE special. So she's going to be getting minus and special cooldown out of this weapon, and then if her HP is at or above 25%, she gets -1 special cooldown pulse. And if she's got full HP, then she gets another special cooldown pulse. So this way she's able to pre-charge and AoE special easily with Emblem Mart support. And then she gives +6 attack and speed buff and the Desperation status to herself and the allies in 2 spaces. So being able to give out the Desperation status is extremely good to your allies, and it is going to be making her a fantastic unit and Cav lines in Aether Raids defense. In Summoner Duels, it is going to be map dependent. If you have trench tile maps, then you pretty much run her with Nabata Igren or Kadean Lind. But if not, then she's going to be functioning as a pretty solid AoE nuke. And she does get true damage with her weapon on her AoE specials, which is even better. So she is going to be functioning as a good supportive unit and an AoE cav. And then at start of combat, if her HP is at or above 25%, she can get +6 attack and speed in the combat, and she gets even more attack and speed based on 20% of her visible speed, and then she gets the true damage based on 20% of her speed, and this is going to be added to the AoE special. And then she's got offensive null follow-up, and also she gets the null guard effect if she's at full HP. So it does require her to be at full HP for some of the effects, for getting the pulse effect and the null guard. So that could be a bit annoying, but still, she's able to function really well as a nuke. And the fact that she's a Cavalier, she's going to be a mainstay in a lot of people's Aether Raids defense. And then she's got Verge of Death, which is an improved version of Life and Death, and pretty much gives you the debuff neutralization on your attack and speed at sort of both player phase and enemy phase. So again, you're going to be a magnet for any kind of attack speed debuffs, and you don't really want that as an AoE nuke. So you're going to be able to basically cleanse that, and this is going to be helping you get the true damage as well, because it is dependent on your visible speed. So you don't really want any kind of debuffs. I am actually a fan of these new slotty skills, because always with these kinds of units with Life and Death, Still Water, they would just attract a lot of debuffs, and then it would be a bit troublesome. She does come with Fortress, but this could always be replaced with a Cultist Strike, and then she's got Defense for Smoke 3. So really solid cavalry nuke with the special pulses that she can get, and she also gives the Desperation status to her allies. So that is going to be really strong, especially if they already have some kind of null follow-up or half null follow-up, and they're going to be able to just attack twice with this kind of Desperation status for free. So really solid unit. And then we have got Fallen Nergal finally in the game. So he's not a mythic unit, but honestly he's so cool thematically that he might as well be a mythic unit. So he's a green infantry mage. Always expected him to be a red infantry mage or colorless, but here he is as a green unit. And then he's going to be attacking Arvel, and he is going to be stealing the quintessence of a lot of his foes. So his preferred weapon is going to be giving him -1 special cooldown, and he gives out the +6 attack buff and the Essence Drain status to himself and the allies in 2 spaces. So this is going to be enabling your allies to make use of Essence Drain status, which is very unique. I'm going to be going over that in a moment. And then in the combat, he's able to inflict -6 attack and resistance debuff on the foe, and he can get even more debuffs on the foe's attack and resistance, depending on 20% of his resistance at sort of combat. And then he deals true damage based on number of status effects active on him ×5. So this can go up to max 25. And then he also gets the flat damage reduction, which can go up to 15, depending on the visible status effects that he has got. And then finally, before his first attack, he gets the special jump -X. So this can be max -3 special jump, which is really good, especially with Lagu's friend. He's going to be triggering specials so easily, and he's going to be able to make use of the visible status effect. So it's good that he comes with the Oath 4 skill, and he also gets the Essence Drain status effect. So Essence Drain is basically a new status which, after you have attacked, you're going to be stealing any kind of bonus status on the target and the foes in 2 spaces of that target, and you're going to be giving all of those status effects to your allies with Essence Drain status. And of course, you're going to be getting rid of the bonus status effects on the foes while stealing this. And after the combat, if the foe died, then you're able to get 10 HP healing, and all of your allies with the Essence Drain also get that healing. So this is a really cool status effect, and I love that they have such a cool thematic effect for Nergal. So this is going to be making it so that he's going to be a threat in Summoner Duels, and also in Aether Raids defense. You do need to attack to steal the status effects of the enemies, but Nergal is so bulky, especially with Lagu's friend 4, that it should not be a problem. And he also has the flat damage reduction up to like 15. So that is also going to be helping him function as a bulky mage, and he can just give out the status effect to his allies. So this is going to be really amazing for robbing your enemies from their status effects. And you can also use this to heal HP, but that is just an additional effect that he can enjoy on top of robbing all of the bonus status effects of the enemies. So he's a really solid mage, and his stat spread is very min-maxed. So again, he's going to be extremely bulky, and you can stack up the flat damage reduction with Lagu's friend. So he's going to be getting a lot of flat damage reduction. And it's just that you'll have to attack the enemy with your Essence Drain ally, but It's going to be functioning in summoner duels where Tina doesn't really function and you're not automatically able to steal the status effects of the enemy. So there he's going to be really solid, and he can even function as a far savior if you run him with Brave Sovereign. So the flat damage reduction is going to be helping him tremendously there. He does come with Glacies, so he's going to be able to easily charge it up with the special jumping, and he has got close bonus doubler, which we did see on Arlen, but here it's also really good. He does have special spiral 4 for the damage reduction piercing, but again, Lagu's friend is going to be there for the damage reduction piercing if you need it, and the Oath 4 skill is going to be perfect because he already gets the attack buff out of his weapon. So I'm really happy with the implementation of Nergal, and he's going to be stealing all of the status effects of Legend Eliwood and his allies here, getting the Kanto status, the bonus doubler and everything. Moving on, what if humanity itself had fallen, and what if food itself turned into our foes? Enter Food Devils, an ambitious indie SRPG game that mixes the tactical grid-based combat system of Fire Emblem with the thrilling unpredictability of roguelike games. In this ravaged world, you stand as the last remaining chef, wielding your culinary skills as weapons, and with no other choice of survival, you will have to forge contracts with Food Devils, which each have their own whims and fancies, but they're going to be aiding your adventures and your restaurant. With a diverse array of Food Devils at your disposal, there's probably going to be one that fits your tastes. The game features a story with branch paths and a whole lot of top-tier voice acting, so if you like what you're seeing, then make sure to check out the Steam and the Kickstarter pages down below. And thank you to my friend Alfred Camon and Studio Diamond for sponsoring this video.
Towards this noble end, I shall be your peerless warrior! Itadakimasu!
Wait, little chef. Don't forget to back my cause. Or I'll need to persuade you the hard way.
We've got Fallen Lumera, and she was always an option that they could do, but I was not really too sure because we just got Mythic Lumera a couple of months back. So she's a red infantry dragon this time, and she's a rearmed unit, so she's going to be providing you with the Arcane Feldstone. So this is going to be giving you minus and special cooldown, and you can get up to plus 14 to all of your stats depending on 25% of foes attack at sort of combat subtracted with 4. So it's good to get a lot of stats in the combat. And then she gets the damage reduction on foes' first attacks, including the brave hits by 40%. And she also gets special cooldown charge plus 1 on both enemies' attacks and your own attacks. And finally, it has got the speed-based null follow-up. So it's going to be a weapon for the faster dragons. The slower dragons are just better used with Sunstone Plus that we've got with Neo Female Kana. That's just a better weapon, but still we do have Neo Male Kana's Dragonstone, which is going to be a really good weapon with its flat damage reduction. So this is not the most impressive Dragonstone, but still helpful for many of the faster dragons, especially if you want to get the special charges and retaliate back with something like Dragon's Roar. But a lot of infantry dragons are going to be preferring to have Dragonstone Plus with Lagu's friend for that flat damage reduction stacking. Then she has got Iceberg, and she also comes with Speed Resistance Cal 4. Unfortunately, the tier 3 version of this is not easily available, so it's not going to be all that easy to get all of the premium skills from her. And she also has Counter Roar 4. She does have her Slothy skill in Corrupted Dragon, which is going to be functioning like Mythic Lumera's Slothy skill. So it is going to be setting up the Divine Vein Stone terrain in 5 rows and 5 columns, centered on Lumera. So now you can also have that Divine Vein Stone support in the Aster season. So if you don't really like facing AoE nukes, then Lumera is going to be helping you with that. And then she has got the Joint Drive effect in 5 rows and 5 columns centered on her. So you get plus 4 to all of your stats, and also the Null Guard effect. So kind of similar to Mythic Lumera. And then finally, she's also able to get the null damage reduction to herself whenever her special triggers. So this is a bit different than Mythic Lumera, and it is going to be helping her function as a dragon tank, but a lot of times she's just going to be used as support, so the damage reduction piercing is not going to be helping you that much. So overall, she's a blessable Lumera that can help you with the stone terrain for the tanking, especially if you're using Emblem Ike and if you don't want to face the AoE specials. But she's not going to be standing out too much because, again, for the role compression in the light season, you've got Mythic Lumera, and she also functions as a mythic unit, so you can have another slot on your team for some other kind of support unit. I'm gonna be making my tier list for the best users out of Lumera's weapons, so look forward to that. And we also have Fallen Lloyd as the Grantor of Battle unit. He comes with a pretty decent weapon that can give the foe penalty doubler status to yourself and also allies in 2 spaces, and he debuffs the enemies for their speed and defense. And it's not going to be doing too much with the other effects, but still it's a decent weapon, and he has got Repel 3 at 5 stars, so he's the first free-to-play unit coming with this kind of damage reduction skill. And his art is just top tier, so if you're a Lloyd fan, then he's much better now, and he's actually usable in Arena as a score stick, and he also provides support, so that's just the cherry on top. So Fallen Banner has got a lot of solid units, but they're not too insane to the point where they're must summons in my opinion. So if you're trying to save your orbs for something like Choose Your Legends, then that could definitely be done. And you can click the link on your stream right now to check out my breakdown of Mythic Loki's banner, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Mythic Veyle and Mythic Lumera after seeing the better supportive effect on these units. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.